only 3 guys in the history of the league, I believe, that have 30 goals, 30 assists, and 30 Ds in the same regular season. Wiseman, Kittredge, and Mechanix are the 3. And Bo Kittredge has scored almost all the goals so far for San Francisco. San Francisco quickly down on the pull again. There's Kevin Brown.
That break, that's got to be one of my favorite throws. The Andrew Brown step in backhand break.
Been doing it for a long time. His younger brother Kevin sending Barker. He's got it. Bo was unguarded on the far sideline and he traveled.
Bo Kittredge traveled? What?
Second time today.
Unbelievable call. We've never seen it before. He is a fun guy to watch his feet. They literally never stay still.
Taylor looking for Lindsley. Turning on the Jets. Grant Lindsley with the easy score. Wiseman. Thought about Barker. Would have been testing Rasmussen. That's a dangerous throw. Poach D for Eli Kearns. To Dolman. Up the line, Kearns accelerating into the end zone. Rasmussen back to Joy. You talk to Tim DeBay, you know how much respect he has for Ashland Joy. Thinks he's perhaps the best player in the sport. Radicals have struggled to have an answer for him in the past, and how about that? The crowd loves it. The flamethrower's on fire. Joy drops down the hammer for Kearns.
You know, whoever matches up against him isn't going to have the best sense of what they're capable of, just because, you know, very briefly we saw what Ashland can do when the pressure's on.
Madison looking to score once more. Antoine Davis denies that. And the San Francisco Flamethrowers headed to the finals of AUDL Championship Weekend for the first time in their franchise's 4-year history. We welcome you once again to the AUDL Championship Weekend in picturesque Montreal. Second game of our semifinal doubleheader features the Toronto Rush, the champs of the East Division, and the Dallas Roughnecks, the South Division champs and the defending AUDL champions. And the Roughnecks never trailed in that game, took a pretty healthy lead in the first quarter, and that's a tough play there. Darren Wu couldn't catch it. Carroll deflected it, and it's caught by Jay Frood.
Jay Frood on this roster, you talk about guys that you forget to mention, you forget to talk about. He's a real difference maker. In a big game, we've seen him over the years at AUDL Championship Weekend just make jaw-dropping catches.
Toronto has been switching matchups through the beginning of this game, and now we see McKenzie actually switched off from Mickle. Originally, McKenzie was on Mickle.
Jackie Howe's on Mickle, but how about Jonathan Martin on Laurie? Gets the D and then throws the goal. Slatic, the bidding catch for the Rush.
And that's the excitement that this Montreal crowd has wanted to erupt with this whole time. I think the 2 times Powell had a shot at making the catch and didn't make it. The crowd was on the edge of their seats. They wanted it, and they finally got to unload here. This throw, not a great throw, but Slatic goes full bore against the pressure of Jackson, makes the catch, and the crowd here, there's no question who they're rooting for. So they put Frood on Carroll. That is an interesting matchup. Frood ain't slow, and he's got some size.
Carroll's taken off.
Carroll says, let's go.
McKnight launching. Carroll's got it. 3-0 last year, 2-0 so far this year. Under 10 seconds now. Burrell lofts it to the end zone. And it's caught. Jeff Lindquist made the grab for the Rush.
Jeff Lindquist times it perfectly. But if it's not for Mark Lloyd here with the great box out, taking position early on, this This throw almost doesn't go up.
Yeah, great job sealing Joel Clutton out of the play. Joel Clutton, number 77 here, had a great read on that, and Mark Lloyd just got in position.
Junior Worlds.
Has ice in his veins.
Is that in Lecco?
That wasn't Lecco.
He caught the game winner, correct?
He did. On Universe. And how about that? With some pizzazz, Darren Wu to Ben Burrell.
Young Bucks are feeling good and making it happen for Toronto. They've got to keep that mentality going. Guys are making plays, no need to talk about it, just keep doing it.
Yeah, just keep letting that momentum build, play loose, let the crowd carry you. You know, I mean, plays like that really bring the crowd onto the field. Just watch this throw.
Several of his teammates have said Darren Wu is the type of guy who likes the spotlight.
Oh, no doubt. He looks very comfortable out there. That throw was an interesting throw.
Mickle again, who has been hassled by Lloyd.
And the difference is in the mark. Lloyd's not trying to pressure every single spot on the field. He's saying, Mickle, go ahead and get the disc. And Mickle just, I don't know that he's confident when he sees Lloyd in the mark, because he still has a throw.
Lloyd comes in for the post. They were looking for Laurie, but Lloyd read it. 7 seconds in the half. And through the bump, it's caught by Quinn. Martin goes over the top. This will count, and Toronto takes the lead. What is it about the end of the third quarter in the second semifinal in Championship Weekend? Last year it was the crazy 80-yard put from Will Chen. And here the Toronto Rush score with no time left to take their first lead of the night.
Yeah, there's something about playing under the lights here on Saturday night at AUDL Championship Weekend. You just get the best out of guys. Look at this sequence of plays that Martin, after a tough sequence earlier, drops this in for the goal with no time.
That wasn't as pretty as Will Chen's throw to Matt Russell, but it gives Toronto a lead as we take the turn for home.
And Toronto feels like they got some bounces going their way probably for the first time this game.
How will Dallas respond? We'll find out. 3 down, 1 to go.
It's an emotional game. It's a game of runs where when you lose focus, you can use help. Whether you're the perennial champion and Kirk Gibson, it helps everybody.
Coffin looking for Mickle. Lloyd defending. Mickle's got this one. Go gadget legs.
Man, that was sick. Mark Lloyd took a great line on that. I mean, that's a huck to the break side. So as a defender, you're totally unprepared for this. And he adjusts, closes, gets good position, and Mickle shows you why he's, potentially one of the greatest deeps in the sport. I mean, this was not close.
How much fun is that matchup, and how much fun is this game?
It's fantastic, and you see the bounce house in the background. The kids are having fun too. I don't know if Beagles was able to get Weston in there yet.
Sure, her boy was over there.
The third time we've seen Mickle throw that turnover.
And he was open there, and so it's not especially with Mickle, it's not a bad shot, but we've seen Mickle holster a lot more.
Oh, Jason Quinn. He was the MVP at Canadian Nationals last week, showing why. Massive Kelly looking for a 2-score lead. Mike McKenzie's got it. And the guys who just turned 20 or about to turn 20.
I mean, they really don't have time to do any of this. They need to throw to the end zone.
Coffin rifles a backhand looking for Freak Child, and it's knocked away. Mark Lloyd with perhaps the game-clinching D for Toronto. And he's shaken up.
Yeah, hopefully it's just a cramp. Looks like a calf cramp. That's Mark Lloyd. He's easy to overlook in the grand scheme of the sport, but he is just a premier player, and in big games and big moments, you can just count on him to make plays like these.
But that will just about do it, and I think a lot of Ultimate fans around this continent are stunned at what we have seen. Toronto is down 4 early, but the Rush storm back and dethrone the defending champion Dallas Roughnecks. 24-21, Toronto takes it. We welcome you to Montreal in Quebec, Canada, for the AUDL Championship game between the San Francisco Flamethrowers and the Toronto Rush. San Francisco looking for their first title ever. The Rush were champs in 2013, trying to get back to the top after a historic win yesterday.
So another miscommunication downfield. Martin able to somehow still make the catch against pressure from Williams.
I don't think Toronto faced this pressure yesterday, and they need to adjust. Sometimes it's hard to calibrate, and that's why they're down a couple of breaks.
Stall count was rising. Lloyd first forced to fire, and it's Dahlman who deflects it away, and then it's kept alive. Connor Armstrong dishes to win for the goal.
So the gods are smiling on Canada right now. So a delay of game called.
He may have set his pivot foot in the wrong spot.
Bo Kittredge?
Like Ashland.
Oh, interesting.
And Ashland wants Bo Kittredge. Hanging in the air. Bo elevates and scores.
Grant Lindsley. He's a guy who's used to more or less getting what he wants on offense.
Lindsley throws it past Schlockett. It's picked off by Mike McKenzie.
Yeah, and I think this defense is in Grant Lindsley's head. He's not getting the easy unders he likes. When he gets the disc, he's looking flustered with all the pressure.
The last couple possessions, San Francisco.
Marin shooting it for Mike McKenzie. Accelerating away from Sanchez. The Rush have their first break.
Nobody throws like Lindquist.
He's unique in that for sure. Lindquist with 3 seconds gets it off. Carroll surrounded by white jerseys, and it floats over everybody for Burrell. Nobody throws like Lindquist.
Nobody throws like Lindquist. I love the shape of that. Gives his defender, gives his receivers a nice look at it. And this, this is something we've talked about. A lot of teams don't practice these situations that often, but you don't want both guys going up, and that's what San Francisco did. 2 guys right in the area. They both try to catch it, and you need to play it as a team. You need one guy to go up and one guy to steal off the backside.
It's the right play. You got to have the trail on any hospital pass or any Hail Mary attempt.
They wind up. You think it's going up, and then they holster. Here's one that's going up from Joy. Taylor on the receiving end. Pretty. Great crowd on hand here at Claude Robillard Stadium in Montreal. The Royale played here in 2017. Harris sending Burrell. Bayless trailing again. Burrell did it once more. How good has this guy been for the Rush?
Yeah, it's so tough when they get that immediate break off the front of the stacks of Cam Harris, and he gets the flick shot off. So fast, with so much power. Pat Bayless does a great job of closing, but he really doesn't have the kind of size to go over the top there. It's a beautiful play.
Well, this is what makes guarding guys who are so quick. It's hard to stop someone from getting the disc, even if it's for a 2-foot pass, and after that, it's so dangerous with the high releases.
Ashland Joy fires a blade to Bo Kittredge to respond. Quinn and Powell double Joy. 30 seconds for the Flamethrowers. Sanchez. Pretty good downfield defense from Toronto, leads to a turnover. And the Rush have no timeouts. Powell juggles but hangs on. Under 10 seconds for Toronto. Lloyd, you want it in his hands. He goes with a scoober and it works! Why not? Lloyd to Powell. Over the top with 2 seconds to go.
I've seen some pretty scoobers, and this is not one of them. But it works so well. There's one path that this disc could take. And I was thinking maybe it'd be a hammer over the top 10, He was in the back of the end zone, but fitting it on the cone. Just enjoy the moment.
That's a good golf shot right there. And then, yeah, I mean,
Continuously with an air bounce, and it's a weapon that you can get to receivers in certain situations. Every throw has an application.
There goes Grant Lindsley.
so 2 mistakes from Carroll early here, and that might be the pressure of the moment mounting.
Oh, there's Harris getting it right back for the rush.
That D was crazy. How did he not foul?
And Jackie Howe downfield on Lindsley. And Ashlyn Joy throws Lindsley open. Grant obliges with an outrageous horizontal bid.
They lose all that yardage by dumping back 20 yards to Kittredge.
Rasmussen to Lindsley. Got it. Decent point for Grant Lindsley.
Yeah, you know, that's why sometimes it's nice to just make a flat throw out to space. Then if there's a miscue, at least you're giving your receiver an opportunity to make an adjustment and just run it down there. You know, if that's an outside in, if that's got a little bend on it, it doesn't sit up long enough for Grant to do this, which is just a spectacular play. Just saying, how did this guy get so good at throwing?
Carroll's taken off. Harris lets it fly. Cohen peeled off defensively. And Carroll makes the catch anyway. So they scored 60 in the finals last year. Dallas over Seattle. Lindsley looking for Kittredge. Darren Wu trailing. Kittredge near the back of the end zone gets the foot down for the goal. If you get a turnover, though, you got to capitalize on it. Great handler defense by Powell, forcing it over the top. And Lloyd comes up with a D, sending Powell to the end zone. And it's a 1-goal game.
He is just a guy who recognizes the moment. And the biggest moments in the biggest games, Mark Lloyd just, wouldn't you know it, winds up in the right place. And then after he gets the D, he makes the perfect throw.
Both teams are out of timeouts. You can't call one to sub a fresh 7 in. And how about Eli Kearns completely canceling the huck from Powell on the spot. Now the other way. Taylor in pursuit. Got it!
Wow. What a sequence of events. And Taylor lands right on that shoulder. Hopefully he's all right. Way to give up the body to make an incredible catch. But if they turn it here,
Kittredge, a wobbly one to Kearns.
it's only a 1-point game.
San Francisco does not have a timeout. Toronto needs a turnover. Dahlman back to Kittredge. In the end zone to Joy. And that should do it. Lindsley watches the time tick away, and for the 4th year in a row, Bo Kittredge is the champ. This year it's with San Francisco as the Flamethrowers win it all in 2017. 30-29, a championship classic here in Montreal.
I thought they played that last point well. Toronto put a lot of pressure on San Francisco. They had some tough resets, some near bobbles and misses, and you just got to tip your cap. San Francisco's a great team. They did what they needed to do down the stretch, and hats off to Toronto. I'm so impressed with the rush.